Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Teachers College Alumni Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Teachers College Master's Degree candidates of the Health and Behavior Studies Department, led by banner bearers Alyssa Welch and Jennifer Weber. Please welcome the Department of Human Development, led by banner bearers Neela Chowdhury and Francis McGeever. Please welcome the Department of International and Transcultural Studies, led by banner bearers Emily Richardson and Gloria Calderon. Please welcome the Department of Mathematics, Science, and Technology, led by banner bearers Kenneth Graves and Adam Wilcox. Please welcome the Department of Organization and Leadership, led by banner bearers Laura Fisher and Juan Carlos Reyes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the faculty of Teachers College. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the President's Party. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jack Hyland, co-chair of the Teachers College Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon. As co-chair of the Board of Trustees of Teachers College, I have the honor of officially opening today's ceremony. By the way, please sit down. Sorry. On behalf of the entire community of TC, as we celebrate our 125th anniversary this year, we welcome you to the 2013 Masters Convocation. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the President of Teachers College, Susan H. Furman.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the most joyous occasion on the calendar of Teachers College, when we honor the talented, energetic, and dedicated men and women who are ready to lead the charge into the future. Congratulations, graduates. Now, mind you, you're not officially a graduate until tomorrow, when I beseech President Bollinger to grant you the awards to which you are entitled. But let's celebrate anyway. You made it. And let's have a big hand of applause to the families, children, spouses, extended families, relatives, and everybody else who made that possible. And an especially big hand of applause to the people at TC, the faculty and the staff who support them, who made this possible for you. This is a wonderful day to reflect on what you've accomplished at TC and to look ahead to what you hope to achieve in the years to come. And of course, this is a day to celebrate. You're graduating during a milestone year for Teachers College, our 125th anniversary. We're marking this anniversary all year long in events here at Teachers College and around the world. But I think the 125th is especially meaningful today as we launch another group of exceptional graduates into the world. I want you to know that you stand on the shoulders of giants, the leaders and the pioneers who have walked the halls of TC over the decades and have helped change the world in so many ways. I'm particularly awed by the brilliance and insight of our founders and early leaders who nurtured this institution as a world-renowned center of new ideas, practices, and fields of inquiry. In fact, TC's visionaries also provided the blueprint for subsequent schools of education. As graduates, you can rightly be proud of the far-reaching influence of your alma mater. You are the heirs to the vision of our first dean, James Earl Russell, who called for, quote, training which would enable the student to see the relationships existing everywhere in the various fields of knowledge, even the unity of all knowledge, end quote. What a marvelous way to describe the education you have received here, and how fitting that Russell's vision is even more relevant today in our hyper-connected and turbocharged world. We need more than ever to seek knowledge, understanding, and connection. This is the TC way. I urge you to continue to put Russell's vision into action in whatever you do and wherever your sphere of influence may be, whether it be one child or an entire nation. As you go into the world armed with your TC degree, I also want you to take pride in our legacy of firsts. It's a long list, and it continues to grow. Consider some of the fields that started here: educational psychology, social studies, urban education, gifted education, conflict resolution, nursing education, dance education, nutrition education, arts education, international and comparative education, spirituality and psychology, and special education. TC also granted the first graduate degrees in physical education and had the first School of Education program in computing and education. And remember that TC is the birthplace of the community school, the scholarly textbook, the yellow school bus, and the song, Happy Birthday. Just as TC graduates helped shape the 19th and 20th centuries, so too will you have a lasting impact on this still young century. I'm confident you will lead the way toward a better future and create your own legacy of firsts with a distinctly 21st century twist. I expect the legacy to continue with impressive graduate students like Benjamin Pass, who will receive his master's degree today from a unique program at TC, Science and Dental Medicine Education. This program allows students to become dentists through the Columbia University School of Dentistry and at the same time attain a master's degree at TC in dental education. The dual degree is a perfect fit for Pass. Having experienced learning difficulties himself, he has created a specialization within the dental and dental education programs. If approved, this specialization will prepare dental students to treat patients with special learning needs. Pass is also a graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy, and he has 8 years of military service ahead of him. He hopes to practice general dentistry for a year with a focus on special needs and poor and minority patients, and then teach dentistry to individuals who share his desire to help underserved communities. Pass is another TC visionary who will use his education and talents to create a new area of study that will benefit a previously neglected group of patients. At commencement time, we often talk about students who go on to pursue their dreams. Cindy Bendezu Palomino is a dreamer in another sense of the word. She's a strong advocate for passage of the DREAM Act, which would grant a permanent path to citizenship to many undocumented immigrants like her who have graduated from U.S. schools. Cindy was a high-achieving high school student in Los Angeles whose dream of attending UCLA had to be deferred because she couldn't receive financial aid as an undocumented immigrant from Peru. And without a Social Security number, she could not accept the National Merit Scholarship she had earned through her high test scores. But Cindy was undaunted. She attended community college and worked 2 jobs until she had enough money to attend UCLA. Along the way, Cindy met other undocumented students and became involved in efforts to pass the DREAM Act. While the act has not yet been passed, thanks to Cindy and her fellow dreamers, President Obama signed a memo making it possible for many undocumented young people to obtain 2-year work authorization and a stay of deportation. For the first time in her life, Cindy has been able to receive financial aid, and she and her parents have become permanent residents in the United States. Today, she receives her master's degree in higher and post-secondary education. She hopes to teach, work for a think tank, and conduct research on undocumented students. She believes the issue of access to higher education is the key to Latinos and students from other backgrounds gaining full acceptance and equal standing in American society. Or, as Cindy says of President Obama's executive order, it was a big moment for us. We weren't afraid anymore. Brava, Cindy. Keep up the good fight. There are so many more wonderful stories like this among our graduates. You've engaged in research, learning, practice that's helping to change lives. work that will resonate after you leave here today. So I expect great things from you. As TC graduates, you are uniquely prepared to meet the complex and often confounding challenges we face in our city, our nation, and our world. The challenges are very similar to those at the time of TC's founding. Industrialization and technology were creating both vast wealth and deep economic uncertainty. A vast new influx of people was pouring into the U.S. from nations around the world. Communities were grappling with issues of health, race relations, education, and crime. Sound familiar? Clearly, we have much more work ahead. We must transform our schools to ensure every child has access to an excellent education. We must harness the power of technology and exciting new research on how the mind works to support more effective learning. We must help shape policy and practice on physical and mental health to address the most pressing needs in our communities, and so much more. TC has given you a strong foundation. Now it is up to you to put your own visions into action. This is your time to seize, your moment to make a difference. Despite daunting challenges, I know you can do this. As you go forth from here today, I urge you to honor the spirit of TC in all that you do. I want to leave you with the words of one of our founders, Nicholas Murray Butler, who wrote during another time of tremendous change and challenges, quote, "Optimism is essential to achievement, and it is also the foundation of courage and true progress," end quote. Remember his words and look to the future with optimism and the courage to change the world. Thank you. We've now reached the moment in this ceremony when we honor an extraordinary individual whose life's work has advanced the cause of education while upholding TC's core mission to foster excellence and equity in the fields we serve. Among those honored at past ceremonies were Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Coretta Scott King, Senator George Mitchell, Pete Seeger, Tom Sobel, Lee Shulman, Gail Collins, Spike Lee, Linda Darling-Hammond, and many others. This year, we're honoring 3 eminent exemplars. This morning, New York State Board of Regents Chancellor Meryl Tisch received a medal. Tomorrow, Lee Sing Kong, the director of Singapore's National Institute of Education, will be honored. And this afternoon, we are about to honor journalist and author Thomas Friedman. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Dean Thomas James to begin that honor.
Thank you, President Furman. It is my pleasure to introduce John P. Allegrante, Professor of Health Education, Deputy Provost, and Fulbright Representative at Teachers College. He's going to introduce Thomas Friedman, our medalist. Mr. Friedman is Foreign Affairs columnist for the New York Times and author. Please come forward.
Thomas Friedman, you once described the United States as an engine of innovation that combines an emphasis on independent thinking with a financial market and a venture capital system that are unrivaled at taking new ideas and turning them into global products. In many ways, those words describe your own award-winning talent for transforming the raw stuff of the 24-hour news cycle into trenchant analysis that, far from merely constituting the first rough draft of history, provides us with compelling chapters in the ongoing story of our civilization. Regarded as one of the most prescient and influential journalists of the past 3 decades, your columns for the New York Times have identified and definitively interpreted the trends and events that are shaping the future. You came to global attention in 1989 following your 4-year assignment as Jerusalem bureau chief for the Times with the publication of From Beirut to Jerusalem, still the cornerstone text for many college and graduate school courses on the Middle East. This magnificent work has inspired as many debates as it has helped to settle, but it has indisputably enlarged our understanding of how the region's history is inextricably bound up with its current conflicts. In your books, The Lexus and the Olive Tree, and The World is Flat, you accurately forecast the current flood tide of globalization. In so doing, you anticipated by nearly a decade the challenge that has confronted the United States since the financial crisis of 2008, how to retool the workforce and the core expertise of our industries to meet the challenges of offshoring and other developments that have leveled the global economic playing field. And in Hot, Flat, and Crowded, and more recently in That Used to Be Us, you have sought to answer the questions posed in your earlier books by exploring strategies to help this nation get its economic groove back. You have written with cogent understanding that no policy is sustainable without a public that broadly understands why it's necessary, and to which we would add today that neither a democratic society nor its citizenry can remain well-informed without public intellectuals such as Tom Friedman, who explain complex ideas and events in accessible terms.
Thomas Friedman, for your indispensable wisdom and for your extraordinary contributions to advancing the global dialogue on culture, strife, understanding, and hope. We are proud to present you with the Teachers College Medal for Distinguished Service.
President Furman, thank you very much. Class of 2013, I'm honored to be here. What a haul. Wow. Since I only have a few minutes to share some thoughts with you, the master's class of 2013, I will confine myself to one simple point, and it won't be the usual graduation mantra, do what you love. I'll assume you got that message when you got your bachelor's degrees. No, my point is this. When I was sitting where you are today, getting my master's degree in Middle East Studies in 1978, 35 years ago, life was easy. All I had to do was find a job. You will have to invent a job. Oh, don't get me wrong, you may get lucky and land your first job, but even then, to hold that job, advance in that job, and thrive in that job, you will be asked much more than my generation to reinvent, re-engineer, redesign, and relearn skills for that job so many times more than your parents. I've worked for the New York Times for 32 years. I will venture that not a single one of you will work for the same company for 32 years. Because machines and robots and software today are much steadier, faster, and more relentlessly marching and devouring not only blue-collar jobs on the factory floor, but more and more white-collar service jobs as well. Two quick points to illustrate this from a recent trip. I was in San Francisco 3 weeks ago, and one day I had to make a very complicated set of changes in where and when I would return my rental car to Hertz. I called Hertz's 800 number, looking for a human being to explain this complicated mess to. But all I got was an automated, artificially intelligent operator who took me step by step through all the changes I needed to make. I never got to that point that I was aching for, when the automated voice says, "Thank you for that information, please stay on the line, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly. Your call may be monitored for quality purposes." No, instead, every question I had was anticipated by the artificially intelligent operator, and I never needed to speak to a real person. It was easily the most complex automated experience I'd ever had. All I could think of, though, when I put down the phone was, I am sure glad my daughters were not planning to be customer representatives for Hertz. It's not a growth field. Now, maybe they should be lawyers instead, but no, wait. Turns out being a lawyer isn't such a sure thing anymore either. I was in the passport immigration line at London's Heathrow Airport 3 days ago. And the man in front of me turned around and said he was a reader of mine and engaged me in friendly conversation. I report everywhere I go, so I asked him, "What do you do?" He said he was in the software business. "What kind of software?" I asked. He said that his goal was to make all lawyers obsolete by creating software applications that enable individuals to do more and more complex legal work without the aid of a lawyer. His goal, he said, was to massively improve access to advice and justice to the 40% of Americans who can't afford an attorney when they need one. Again, I thought, I'm glad my daughters weren't planning to be lawyers. Why is all of this happening on the eve of your graduation? Again, the short answer is that something really big happened in the world, to the world's wiring in the last decade. But it was all disguised by the subprime crisis and post 9/11. We have not been talking about it, but it's actually the most important thing to happen in the world. The world went from connected to hyper-connected, and it is changing every job, every workplace, and every industry. Now, I know a little bit about this subject because, as noted, back in 2004, I wrote a book called The World is Flat, arguing that the world was getting connected. And last year, with my colleague Michael Mandelbaum, I wrote another book called That Used to Be Us About America. And when I sat down in 2000, I guess it was 11, to write that new book, the first thing I did was get the first edition of The World is Flat off my bookshelf. And as I've told people many times, it was a real shock. I got the book down off my bookshelf, cracked it open, looked in the index under A, B, C, D, E, F, F, A. Facebook wasn't in it. So when I was running around the world just in 2004, saying the world is flat, we're all connected, Facebook didn't exist, Twitter was still a sound, the cloud was still in the sky, 4G was a parking place, LinkedIn was a prison, applications were what you sent to college, big data was a rap star, and Skype was a typo. I love doing that, President Furman. Can I do that again? Okay. All of that happened in just the last 7 years. And it is a huge inflection. And it's taken the world from connected to hyper-connected, and it's changing everything. It's what is enabling Hertz to create much more sophisticated, automated service reps. It's what's enabling software companies to think not only about automating blue-collar jobs, but sophisticated white-collar lawyering as well. Every industry represented by this graduating class, from healthcare to education, is now being transformed by cheap, fast, connected computing power. As Microsoft Research Chief Craig Mundy said to me, it's as if every aspect of our lives is now being driven by Moore's Law. Every job today is going up, out, and down faster than ever. It either requires more skill to do, it has more people or software around the world that can do it, or it's being outsourced to history, to the past, faster than ever. That's the bad news, or the challenging news. The good news is this: the tools you will need to thrive in this world, to invent a job more frequently and reinvent yourself, are also becoming much more easily available at lower prices, often indeed for free. All of this hyperconnectivity has created a global education, commercial, communication, and innovation platform on which more people can start stuff, collaborate on stuff, learn stuff, make stuff, and with more other people than ever before. Websites like Kickstarter enable anyone to crowdsource any idea. You don't need Wall Street anymore. 3D printing will enable you to turn out a prototype all by yourself from your own basement. The cloud offers individual access to computing power and storage for dimes and nickels an hour. You don't need your own contract with Cisco anymore. Open source tools provide all sorts of software programs to innovate or run a business or a back office for free. You don't need Microsoft anymore. If you want to prepare for your GRE exams, you can pay Kaplan, or you can now go to Khan Academy and get it online for free. If you want to learn philosophy or biology or artificial intelligence, there's now a MOOC out there for free, just waiting for you to tune in. But this huge expansion in individual ability to do all these things comes with three big differences from when I graduated, and I want to talk about these three. First, now more rests on you. If you are self-motivated, wow, this world is tailored for you. The boundaries are all gone. The walls are gone, the ceilings are gone, but the floors are gone too. Your specific contribution will define your specific benefits much more than for my generation. And this relates to point number 2. There was a time in the world of walls when your graduate degree could actually last you for a career. That is no longer the case. Because of the speed of change, everything you learned here will be outdated faster, except one thing: the ability to learn how to learn and desire to constantly keep learning. If you left here with those two things, you have got your money's worth. The third point is this: the kind of jobs you will want to invent for yourself are going to be very different from my generation. Most of them have not even been invented yet. The historian Walter Russell Mead put it well the other day when he wrote, "The old jobs are going away and they aren't coming back. Moreover, we can't fix the problem by trying to create new jobs in factories or traditional office bureaucracies to replace the ones going away. We need new kinds of jobs that don't involve manufacturing or traditional forms of information processing. That leaves the service economy. There's nowhere else to go. Promoting new ways for people to make a living in this still young century isn't as simple as getting macroeconomic policy right. And it isn't about figuring out how to reindustrialize the economy, how to bring smokestack jobs back to Buffalo. That door is shut. That day is done. Solving America's job problem and its consequences is going to require both policy and cultural shifts. In the 19th century, most Americans spent their time working with animals and plants outdoors in the country. In the 20th century, most Americans spent their time pushing paper in offices or bashing widgets in factories. In the 20th century, most of us, are going to work with people, providing services that enhance people's lives. We are going to have to discover the inherent dignity of work that is people to people rather than people to things. We are going to have to realize that engaging with other people, understanding their hopes and their needs, and using our own skills, knowledge, and talent to give them what they want at a price they can afford is the honest work of the 21st century, said Walter. In other words, the old job of just answer the phone at Hertz and change my reservation is gone. But something tells me there's a new and better job at Hertz in helping families plan their summer vacations or business executives their next trip so they get the most out of where they're going for the best value. Lawyers who make their livings writing wills or basic contracts are not in a growth industry. Those who can give you the advice for how to stay out of court will be. So to repeat, if you left here full of self-motivation, a love of learning, a love of people, and a desire to help them make their lives more productive, more educated, more entertained, more healthy, more stable, and more secure, you're going to do just fine no matter what field you're going into. It all sounds a little scary, I know, but change is always that way. Remember, if horses could have voted, there never would have been cars. I prefer to see the glass half full. In this hyper-connected world, we're going to have so many more people working on solving the world's biggest problems, and they'll all be able to join that effort for less money from more places with more tools than ever before. And we are going to have so many more jobs that get to focus on solving people's real problems and empowering people to get so much more out of their potential, rather than just answering the phone to give them commodity answers or legal advice they could easily get online. So go forth and find a job if you can, invent one if you can't, and remember that the most important things you learned here were all the things that cannot be measured by test scores or found on Google: self-motivation, that love of learning, and a network of friends and colleagues from all over the globe with whom to collaborate on making the world a more prosperous, a more understanding, a more healthy, and more comfortable place for people. Teachers College, class of 2013, just remember, in this world, if it's not happening, it's because you're not doing it. There's no excuse anymore. Godspeed to you all.
Thank you very much. It is my great honor to introduce our student speaker, Joyce Rafla, a candidate for the Master of Arts degree. I present you with Joyce Rafla.
Professors, fellow graduates, parents, and friends, Mabruk. That's the Arabic word for congratulations. A story of a girl I know goes like this. She graduated with a degree in economics at the peak of the financial crisis. Thanks to her luck, she couldn't find a job. But she was hired in a job that helped her change the world. She was firing people. She always knew she had a passion for education, but not the opportunity. In a miraculous turn of events, she found her way to Teachers College. And that's where she found herself. This girl is me. My name is Joyce Rafla. I'm Egyptian, and I'm deeply honored to be your student speaker for today, reflecting with you on the richness of our experience here at Teachers College. With 125 years of history and over 15% of our student body coming from 80 different countries, studying here is definitely an experience that connects us to different times and places and exposes us to life lessons that transcend all national borders and histories. Through this experience, I've come to realize a number of borderless life lessons which unite us as humans, possibly showing me that the world is flat. I want to share these lessons with you today as you think about your next steps. In our time at Teachers College, we've all learned and carried forth its mission of striving for social justice. This mission has led me to believe that people are significant regardless of their resumes. At the depth of our hearts and at the core of who we are, we all struggle with doubts about ourselves and our sense of meaningfulness. As we think about our futures, we are often preoccupied by the details of building our resumes, and at times lose the long-term perspective that actually provides meaning to our journeys. With this outlook, we might be missing an important life lesson. It's people who make achievements, not the other way around. Our controversial class discussions at Teachers College guided me to understand that life is complex and challenging. So much so that our brains often create shortcuts to solving societal problems. One shortcut I created in my head was thinking that citizens of more developed countries are probably the happiest in the world. However, I discovered that all people have their own sets of struggles everywhere. Whether we're fighting to build a democracy or to create jobs, the foundation of our struggles is the same wherever we live. The lesson is, we're all striving for the assurance of a better tomorrow for our children and ourselves. This need for assurance is probably why we developed the scientific method to control and predict our environments. In a research-driven institution like Teachers College, with too narrow of a perspective, we might be more inclined to believe in the grandeur of the scientific method alone. In doing so, we may miss the most significant part of our humanity, our resilience and adaptability to life's changing circumstances. At one point during the Egyptian Revolution, the police retreated from the streets of Cairo. My father and brother had to leave the house every night to join other men in an alternative neighborhood watch system to protect their families and monumental artifacts. I witnessed similar solidarity happen in New York during and after Superstorm Sandy, when people collaborated to adapt to the aftermath of the storm. Lesson 3, it's adaptability, not predictability, that we should be celebrating. Statistically, there was no way to predict that I would be standing here today. Standing as an example of the myth that predictability is an absolute determinant of our destinies. I am a woman from a minority group of a middle-class family in a patriarchal Middle Eastern society. but I'm graduating from Teachers College, Columbia University. I'm here against the culture that expects me to conform and submit to the traditional place of women in society. Despite all of the discouraging comments I had heard from people in my home country who thought I couldn't make it on my own as a woman, I'm here. I'm here because of my personal convictions, as well as other people's investments and sacrifices. And I know the same goes for other students graduating with me today. As you walk out of here contemplating your next steps, don't overwhelm yourselves. You made it this far, and my hope is that these borderless life lessons will empower you even more. Recognize your true worth, your resilience, and your adaptability to endure whatever life throws your way. And we're never alone. We are fruits of the efforts of our parents, teachers, professors, friends, and even our cohorts here. We owe much of our success to other humans, which should drive us to give back. That's how we're all interconnected in this world, changing it one human at a time, starting with the most challenging, ourselves. Thank you, Mabruk, and congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christopher Sierra, master's candidate in the Department of Arts and Humanities.
A golden sky and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and walk on with hope in your heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now recognize each of the master's degree candidates.
Good afternoon. For many of you, I had the distinct pleasure of welcoming you to Teachers College when we first admitted you. For some, that was this past year. For others, maybe last year. And for some of you, let's just say you've been working on this for a very long time. But congratulations to all of you on this amazing achievement today. At this time, it gives us great pleasure to read the names of those candidates for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Philosophy, and Master of Science degrees at Teachers College, Columbia University. All degrees will be conferred at the Columbia University ceremony tomorrow. Thank you very much. And now, the candidates for the Master of Arts, Master of Education, Master of Philosophy, and Master of Science degrees.
Good afternoon. We'll be calling the graduates up by department. They're not in alphabetical order, so please listen carefully for your graduate's name. Jennifer Weber.
Alyssa Welsh.
Martha Centella Sood.
Janit Samangelo.
Emily Baird.
Ashley Bauer.
Christine Marino.
Natalie Bensini.
Regina Scala.
Christine Bogo.
Tabitha Koto.
Elizabeth Carino.
Nicole Helene.
Christine Gunkel.
Valerie Caban.
Joelle Santani. Deshawn Hall.
Christina Constant.
Christine Whittam.
Sherry Glover.
Samantha Robbins.
Jennifer Rock.
Mira Tall.
Deborah Coopersmith.
Kimberly Rodriguez.
Carolyn Damon.
Christine DeSantis.
Philippa Purdy.
Alexandra Smith.
Nicole Gavralidis.
Michelle Paganati.
Emily Sherry.
Natasha Kite.
Vanessa Stacio.
Jari Majewski.
Jenna Rosenfeld.
Amanda Pereño.
Therese Nadler.
Jennifer Eisen. Monica Rodriguez. Olutomisin Ukanbi. Kara Siegel. Anna Poniras. Elizabeth Datavio. Mary Hill. Cassandra Coronis. Suzanne Gertis. Nicole Anderson.
Chelsea Fuchs.
Diana Marino.
Franklin Lee.
Lambrini Whitney.
Hugh Nguyen.
Kristen Camp.
Stephen Tendrich.
Jacqueline Corsera.
Meredith Turtletaub.
Alyssa Placencia.
Tara Wisniewski.
Alice Grinberg.
Jennifer Parker.
Natalia Bogopolskaya.
Liana Strezpek.
Faye Calder.
Samantha Marino.
Eric Hertz.
Lauren Robb.
Kaylin Stearns.
Yu Sao.
Rena Wexelberg Klauser.
Alexandria Lanter.
Jessica Utia.
Laura Darcy.
Chloe Panyotu.
Chisiera Farrell.
Brittany Kilgore.
Tess Goldfarb.
Colleen McCoy.
Marisa Bernthal.
Rachel Ettinger.
Erica Brown.
Christophorus Bekos.
Matthew Carbone.
Aaron Hinga.
Michelle Mackey.
Umaka Anekwe.
Suzanne Heller.
Kira Cohen Milo.
Emma Smith.
Gail Watson.
Kiva Haranchuk.
Mary Manucheri.
Caitlin Flynn.
Christina Lally.
Samantha Hadley.
Brooke Kniedeman. Kelly Henderson.
Rinat Nahum Lahijani.
Ashley Krokowski.
Deanna Russell.
Jocelyn Hinman.
Tyra Khan.
Daniela Oricel.
Sana P.
Hillary Krinnick.
Erica Chu.
Monica Doss.
Natasha Romanoff.
Jessica Snee.
Catherine O'Connor.
Danielle Bartlett.
Riva Cantor.
Ariella Epel.
Judy Park.
Alexandra Lily Payton.
Allison Pariani.
Larissa Ombrigi.
Jillian Absiu.
Jennifer Elizabeth Warren.
Ine Kim.
Cedric Terrell.
Caitlin Menzel. Melissa Ennis.
Allison Liebman. Jennifer Kennedy, the James L. Neff Reading Specialist Scholar presented by James L. Neff. James has been selected to represent TC's more than 200 scholarship and fellowship supporters. Jennifer Kennedy. And will the students and the faculty from the Department of Health and Behavior Studies please stand and congratulate our graduates?
Thank you. I'd now like to welcome the Department of Human Development. Francis McGeever.
Neela Chowdhury.
Jaewoo Yoon.
Brett Taylor.
Lu Han.
Shafiq Bahu.
Haofi Shen.
Fatima Zahra Kadiq.
Elizabeth Crossman.
Edlin Galvez.
Jennifer Fauci.
Krista Marshalones.
Alyssa Catuno.
Kevon Facey.
Jennifer Eaton.
Jamie Fialkoff.
Jimmy Master.
Joyce Rafla.
Shmarula Kirazidi.
Monica Jutta.
Kun Wu.
Bright Naswa.
Guen Nu.
Jacqueline Simons. Rhymes Stabler.
Mohammed Aizuddin Mohammed Anwar.
Erica Russo.
Teresa Ober.
Clarissa Green.
Peter Yaksik.
Chi Pan.
Inbal Aharoni.
Zhengrong Liu.
Yu Yang Gore.
Mengshi Jiang. Will the students and the faculty from the Department of Human Development please stand and congratulate our graduates?
Thank you. I'd now like to welcome the Department of International and Transcultural Studies. Emily Richardson.
Gloria Calderon.
Vince Blazer.
Farah Brensinger.
Natalie Kavaiko.
Sarah Dim Carbrandt.
Eugene So.
Lowell Amuhana.
Jennifer Park.
Cindy Gilbert.
Hee-Kyung Park.
Amanda Ruckel.
Annette Tobias.
Alicia Bradley.
Catherine Moore.
Diana Hockner.
Juyeon Park.
Juliana Hess.
Victoria Kim.
Jordan Steiner.
Shuefei Tarantino.
Rebecca Martinez.
Ying Du.
Renee McAlpin.
La Chen.
Colleen Menard.
Jojo Feng.
Melody Buckholt.
Mehreen Tahir Chowdhury.
Kristen Moore.
Marie-Louise Orsini.
Sarah Muffley.
Kristen Stepanishin.
Rachel McKee.
Jesse Morris.
Seyung Kim.
Sarah Rizk.
Sulafa Khalid Musa.
Kate McCreary.
Karangari Wambogo. Will the students and the faculty from the Department of International and Transcultural Studies please stand and congratulate our graduate?
I'd now like to welcome the Department of Mathematics, Science, and Technology. Ashley Ewing.
Kenneth Graves.
Keith Kaplan.
Moonwan Chong.
Ewan Zhang.
Stephen Cadet.
Sophia Stamp.
Kevin Pais Ramirez.
Eugenio Chong.
Samuel Finder.
Rebecca Natchison.
Samantha Fiden.
Jillian Rondinon.
Carrie Hand.
Maureen Kramanek.
Jennifer Miseri.
Susan Dietrich.
Michelle Lee.
Cheryl Branome Panzo.
Laura Wong.
Jasprit Sethi.
Angelique Tarazi.
Haley Simon.
Michelle Muldowney.
Tara Gangarosa.
Shufik Baksh.
Tennille Russo.
Benjamin Pass.
Heather Walsh.
Jung Ri.
Bradley Droke.
Rebecca Stern.
Haneen Al-Yassin.
Jennifer Passero.
Sarah Walton.
Anne Metcalf.
Wendy Villa.
Gwen Kerr.
Siokle Ho.
Andrew Wallace.
Jennifer Duarte.
Benjamin Siegel.
Basil Kulani.
Edward Fletcher.
Richard Trompetta.
Songluk Savasti.
Yoshan Sai.
Fotaini Rarakau.
Tangling Su.
Anna Conover.
Lawson Jia.
Shawnee Zhang.
Minhun Kang.
Megan Boran Shadanik.
Lee Candelino.
Nitin Gumaste.
Yampu Freeman.
Rachel Soon.
Qinghua Young.
Will the students and the faculty from the Department of Mathematics, Science, and Technology please stand and congratulate our graduate?
Hey, last but not least, the Department of Organization and Leadership. Befitting of that, Juan Carlos Reyes.
Laura Fisher.
Kelly Sanoa.
Jeray Matherson.
Kristen Bacalar.
Gary Wade.
Jessica Youngman.
Peter Salfidi.
Tatiana Goldberg.
Ross Dickman.
Will Rem.
Ty Reedy.
Chris Bertha.
Patrick Snyder.
Iram Aaron.
James Nemec.
Sheila Conchwala.
Rachel Neff.
Andrea Hart.
Ryan Travis.
Claire Logston.
Lindsay Travis.
Damaris McLean.
Elizabeth Knox.
Rebecca Salito.
Jeffrey Auer.
Ellen Hinman.
Andrew Zykowitz.
Catherine Parker.
Sam Torres.
Will Jennings.
Jeffrey Marshburn.
Michael Holtgrave.
Eric Perkins.
Malika Goss.
Gary Whidden.
Giselle Furlong.
Chad Monroe.
Gloria Abena Kumsan.
Chaveso Cook.
Maritza Solano.
Brandon Drobenak.
Rebecca Nelson.
Thomas Peabody.
Ashley Chandler.
Joseph Handke.
Dominique Kraft.
Michael Adanasio.
Benjamin Cady.
Joshua Hunter.
James Eberhardt.
Melissa Nathanson.
Emily Hamlin.
Maggie Gordon.
Caleb Stabler.
Jillian Berziak.
Jessica Stepke.
Aaron Stahl.
Tyler Casertano.
Beth Silvestrini.
Kendall White.
Kristen Svevington.
Joy Hurd.
Elizabeth Thompson.
Safia Sadiq Satterwhite.
Molly Sonsteng.
Benjamin Pluger.
Isha Bhattacharya.
Paul White.
Jingling Mai.
David Hardy Jr.
Xinyi Chen.
Damaris Sanchez.
Clarice Chow.
Roman Lira.
Melissa Eng.
Katrina Arce.
Shi Hua.
Laura Tejeda.
Udeshika Mendez.
Mia McCurdy.
Jason Lee.
Tracy Edwards.
Cassandra McIntosh.
Marie Morantis.
Ari Siegel.
Leisha Bedenbaugh.
Taryn Almanzar.
Sharon Jenkins.
Laura Bartels.
Derek Lilly.
Aaron Groton.
Eartha Dickerson.
Charlotte Berkeley.
Evelyn Navarro.
Stephen Friedfeld.
Katie Weathers.
Catherine Smith.
Corazon del Rosario.
Jake Tuber.
Lisa Agaro Luma.
Madeline Carlson.
Monica Orisco Luis.
Matthew Blank.
Joshua Kramer.
Anna Denton.
Cassandra Schwartzman.
Erica Waltz.
Ryan Mancinelli.
Gilly Ben Yosef.
Corey Jankow.
Jessica Mordo.
Kelly Rudnitsky.
Sarah Klass.
Sony Mysore.
Audrey Wilk.
Meredith DeLaro.
Olubukalo Ajisokan.
Anna Kim.
Brett Dupuy.
Corinne Jacoby.
Christy Nguyen.
Ari Meadows.
Christina Cornel.
Christine Arlene Nicholas Arazal.
Rachel Gevertz.
Clara Chen.
Ji-yoon Shin.
Benjamin Dobbs. Tracy Kittle.
Anthony Caputo.
Erica Svekova.
Malik Boykin.
Diana Kim.
Izzy Taveras.
Aaron Gomes.
Denise George.
Christina Vega.
Brandon Martin.
Jessica Robles.
Tracy Passerini.
Cindy Laura Bendezu Palomino.
Matthew Gawol.
Anissa Dean.
Lindsay Dussing.
Elizabeth Hutzler.
Whitney Green.
Kenny Benavides.
Varghese Alexander.
Eli
Catherine Riley.
Michael Friedman.
Casey Zimmer.
David Padilla.
Aaron Sundstrom.
Ryan Kimmett.
Daniel Urcia.
Christopher Davies.
Lynn Casto.
Thomas Taylor.
Sherry Chapeletz.
Aaron Cooper.
Matthew Nolfo.
Josh Cobb.
Stephen Noga.
Elliot Huntsman.
Marisa Gomez.
Jason Ford.
Maria Arellano.
Damon Hoyle.
Mira Ratnasar.
Angela Dunbar.
Lynn Barker.
Latoya Grady.
Daniel Kiley.
Curtis Buckner.
Francis Fondren.
Nicholas Perea.
Stella Beal.
Ann Pearson.
William Jacob.
Heather Lawrence.
Jennifer Hyatt.
Chelsea Banks Craigie.
Kira Rogers.
Legra Newman.
Deborah Jeffries Glass.
Joyce Pulfist.
Elizabeth Scott.
Marvin Lewis Robinson.
Katie Bergen.
Tracy De Oliveira.
Lucy Goldstein.
Constantine Politis.
Christopher Pursley.
Zachary Zupiri.
Lindsay Koss.
Chelsea Tubbs.
Michael Arjona.
Christina Kim.
Michelle Harris.
Noah Angeles.
Nicholas Alexander Bardukas.
Zachary Boyd.
Mark Ang.
Esteban Isaac Jr.
Guy Sack.
Monica Amaro.
Constance Chong.
Juman Saunders.
Ivan Pandoy.
Michelle Friedman.
Teresa Koo.
Jose Vicuna.
Nishi Vijay.
Shirley Landry.
Vedika Prasad.
Kevin Griffith.
Dana Bauer.
Simon Amer.
Bhavna Ramchandani.
Alana Weiss.
Jyotsna Kalyasandar.
Courtney English.
Camila Ribeiro.
Katim Sharir Eel.
Lindsay Dole.
Centrice Monique Miller.
Irene Lasis.
Stacy Gums.
Lois Jeffers.
Pooja Bajaj.
Dina Elsibe.
Miao Cho.
Alyssa Moten.
Cassandra McDonough.
Shannon Thompson.
Sean McCann.
Zachary Curtis.
Juan Colon.
Lou Tong.
Peter Go.
Michael Lutkus.
Holly Maria Flynn Vilaseca.
Zeynep Banderma.
Casilda Beltre.
Melissa Lomax.
Sean Murphy.
Mary Manugian. Will the students and the faculty from the Department of Organization and Leadership please stand and congratulate our graduates? And would all of our students and our faculty please stand and congratulate all of our graduates?
And now, the presentation of the candidates.
Please be seated. President Furman, Mr. Rickert, Mr. Highland, trustees, faculty, staff, and guests, it is my pleasure as Provost and Dean of the College to present to you the master's candidates from Teachers College. Please hold your applause until all the candidates have been recognized. Would the Master of Arts candidates please stand, be recognized, and remain standing? Would the Master of Science candidates please stand, be recognized, and remain standing? Would the Masters of Philosophy candidates please stand, be recognized, and remain standing? And would the Master of Education candidates now please stand, be recognized, and remain standing? President Furman, I ask you to recommend these students for the granting of their master's degree tomorrow morning at the Columbia University commencement exercises.
Students, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adam Vane, the president of the Teachers College Alumni Association.
Graduates. I'll say it again, graduates. My name is Adam Vane, and it is with great pleasure that as president, I formally welcome you into the Teachers College Columbia University Alumni Association. You are joining a body of some 90,000 professionals from all our departments and programs in all walks of life, at all stages of careers, who have owned their own gifts, been inspired by great teaching, and made a significant mark on the world. They have done this with the support of the people around them, like those around you today, family, friends, teachers, administrators, benefactors, and fellow alumni. I stand here representing those 90,000 with an invitation to actively participate in our Alumni Association. We are your colleagues, collaborators, and supporters, and what holds us together are the crucial values we bring and the resonance we feel from our connection to our alma mater. Now, if your time was anything here like mine, there were times you experienced supreme puzzlement, sleep deprivation, and bone weariness, coupled with brilliant moments of insight, flashes of inspiration, and exuberant, sometimes helpless laughter. If your future here is anything like mine, I can assure you that your continued connection to TC will bring you lifelong learning, greater insight, and supportive connections. This is a precious moment. And right now, your focus is and should be on your work and careers. Your destiny awaits, and the opportunity calls to do important things in education, healthcare, psychology, and organization development. But please know you have a home and rich community here in TC, which you can tap into both physically and virtually through the Alumni Association webpage. Your fellow alumni, along with all the people here, wish you the very best in your endeavors, and we hope you give us the opportunity to join you along the way. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bill Rickert, co-chair of the Teachers College Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Teachers College, I want to congratulate each of you on your very special achievement. We thank your family and friends for joining the faculty and staff of Teachers College to recognize you, the master's candidates of 2013. We invite you all to join us for light refreshments in the Russell Courtyard back at Teachers College. And we ask our guests to kindly remain in your seats until all of the students have left the cathedral. Thank you all and good luck.